xFusion Migrator for SAP. This demo will show you some helpful techniques and tips to reduce your SAP migration costs. Popular xFusion Migrator software will be used to demonstrate these cost-cutting techniques. We will first give a quick overview of the xFusion Migrator software. Then, we'll identify some key cost reduction areas and demonstrate data preparation options that are effective in preventing problems throughout a migration project. We will show some practical techniques and tips to help reduce risk and speed up the many tasks associated with data conversions. xFusion Migrator is a desktop software utility that helps businesses quickly modernize business applications or convert legacy system data to new applications. It reduces the time and resources needed to migrate and consolidate data from a variety of databases and other sources using powerful data profiling, cleansing, and transformation features. xFusion Migrator adds convenience to projects that are complex and gives you peace of mind knowing that changes are easy to manage and team members can be kept informed along the way. And the xFusion Migrator software is affordable and provides a return on investment in less than 1 year. It is also deployed faster than any other solution in its class. You will see the xFusion Migrator software being used throughout the presentation. Let's first look at where migration project costs can be reduced. The three cost areas include time, risk, and money. The techniques we cover today will help reduce costs in all three of these areas. We will show how increased knowledge at the beginning of the project and good communication throughout the project will reduce time and risk. Some project steps, like transforming data formats, can be done faster by setting rules instead of duplicating a manual effort. Data that is correctly prepared during the early project stages will help avoid future upload errors and avoid uploading unclean data to the new system. Time and money can be reduced by avoiding the bottlenecks of work done in series instead of in parallel. By this we mean that different business objects of an application can be worked in parallel by team members instead of waiting for one to finish prior to starting the next. Changes in source data and requirements should be expected with any migration project. When these happen, you will benefit from having a process in place that adapts easily to those changes, instead of having to start from scratch each time they occur. And finally, costs can be reduced by standardizing on a tool set and methodology for the migration. Having a proven desktop utility like xFusion Migrator has saved companies hundreds of hours. Methodologies may already be in place, but if not, it should be defined well in advance of the project start. During the demo, we will refer to a migration case study. This project in particular was using SAP version 4.6 and had many legacy systems spread across 12 countries. The company wanted to move data from SAP version 4.6 and all legacy systems into SAP version 6.0. In the interest of time, we have reduced the actual project work to just 2 input data sources. Also, the case study will focus on just one project file in the xFusion Migrator software, as opposed to all the project files needed for the original migration. The project file you see here processes credit master records from the 2 input data sources. Let's quickly walk through this project file in xFusion Migrator. In the top left-hand corner of our data flow diagram, we have a connection to SAP version 4.6 QA system data. Next is a connection to a legacy system, and we are using 2 crosswalk tables which will be covered in more detail later. Next is a data consolidation step and further data transformation stages prior to exporting the data to a format acceptable by an SAP upload utility. So as we go through the techniques and tips today, we will refer to these project stages in this migration case study. Okay, now let's review our techniques and tips for cutting the cost of SAP migration projects. For data migration to be successful, we need a good understanding of the system you are migrating from. Most often, the knowledge comes from business users. It also can come from documentation. There are 2 problems in understanding the legacy system. First, the documentation is often not complete or not even available. And second, the business users sometimes make assumptions that are not correct, and problems occur later in the project from this. Let's look at a demonstration of the xFusion Migrator software of how to best understand your legacy system. Again, looking at the case study project that we have, this is the credit master data that we are pulling from the SAP 4.6 system. Let's look in particular at the material table called MARA. We can click on the table details to gain useful information about the table prior to doing data extraction. We see all the columns, descriptions, data types, the size, and also the relationship with other tables with this table. The other example we have is when there is little known about the legacy system. If you know one piece of information, you can use the xFusion Migrator software to find more information. In this example, we know that there is a person named Nancy, and we want to find more information about where the data is located and any relationships. A simple search returns all the tables where Nancy is found. In this case, the employee table contains Nancy, and the column location is also shown. So using the data profiling techniques, you can gain a better understanding of your legacy system, even if the documentation is not available. The next tip is avoiding surprises. Most migration projects are delayed due to data quality problems. Most companies do not know that they have these data quality problems until the final stages of loading the data into the new system. By the time you realize it, you have no choice but to extend your project deadlines. These data quality problems include things like duplicate records, missing values, incorrectly formatted values, and values that your SAP system may not recognize. So to meet your project milestones, it's best to catch these potential problems at the beginning of the project. Let's look at techniques to ensure data quality in the case study. After the data was extracted and consolidated from the SAP 4.6 system and the legacy systems, we found that there were 106 records moved to the new system. Some of them had KUNNR as the primary key, which is good, because it's required for the upload process to work when moving into the new SAP 6.0 system. But another query discovered 42 records from the legacy system that were missing this KUNNR data. If we attempt to load these records, they would obviously fail. So this is just one example of profiling your data to avoid surprises later in the migration project. We won't show it in this demo, but the xFusion Migrator software has all the tools for improving these and other data quality issues, and is a true desktop utility for managing the whole migration project start to finish.